Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack a completely mind-bending story that brilliantly subverts absolutely everything you expect from the martial arts genre. We're looking at a narrative called Wuxia of the Void, and it takes all those traditional tropes, the isolated monks, ancient monasteries, secret techniques, and just plunges them straight into high-concept sci-fi and cosmic horror. It is a wild ride. We are introduced to a profound mystery right out of the gate. Picture this. We meet monk Shen, and he's practicing the 72 forms of the celestial fist on this misty, atmospheric mountain. But he's striking at empty air. And then he begins to sense this subtle fever in reality itself. He actually catches his fellow monks practicing secret, completely undocumented forms. Their bodies are literally remembering movements they were never officially taught. So it really makes you wonder, right? Why on earth are they training to fight enemies that seemingly just don't exist? Well, Master Chen drops a massive truth bomb on Shen that reveals a total paradigm shift. He tells him the monks aren't preparing for physical combat against rival clans or earthly threats. Not at all. They are preparing for a war against conceptual space. These specific martial arts were engineered centuries ago to fight entities that exist purely as information and hunger. Which brings us to Section 1, the monastery's secret, a prison for the unseen. For literally half a millennium, this isolated temple has served as a sacred quarantine. It turns out a massive black stone void ship crashed beneath the mountains centuries ago, and inside it is a dormant entity. These beings are called void walkers, and they feed on human consciousness itself. So that daily chanting the monks do, it isn't just a religious practice. It actually creates a continuous, organized field of meaning that acts like a net, trapping this hungry alien entity inside a spherical prison. Moving on to Section 2, fighting the void, the mind as a weapon. As those containment barriers begin to thin out and the entity starts waking up, the monks are forced to journey deep underground to awaken the original, highly dangerous combat forms. And it's incredibly fascinating how these martial arts work here. They aren't physical strikes. Instead, they use perfectly applied intention to assert reality against the hungry void. It's a concept called ontological pressure. Basically, the monks use their fiercely cultivated mental focus to keep reality intact. But the stakes, they are incredibly high. A single mistake in application doesn't mean you get a broken arm. It means existential incoherence, or just total madness. The entity, however, is not going down without a fight. It launches a devastating counterattack. But instead of trying to break the physical walls, it attacks the minds maintaining them. It traps 18 monks in a collective, recursive nightmare loop, basically breaking their minds down step by step. It hits them with an initial trauma, traps them in a loop, massively amplifies their despair, and finally aims for the complete dissolution of their identity.
Desperate to help, Shen and Master Chen project their own minds into this conceptual space to save their brothers. But they realize a terrifying paradox. Actually, scratch that. Fighting the entity strategically is exactly what feeds its hunger. Every advanced combat form they use just teaches the entity more about human consciousness, making it stronger, smarter, and way more adaptable.
So this leads to a really radical realization. Those complex void-walking techniques, they have to be completely abandoned for pure, unprocessed human compassion. Shen realizes that strategy requires analysis, and analysis is exactly what feeds the entity. So what do? They stop fighting. They replace combat strategy with unconditional love. They recognize that the entity is hungry simply because it has only ever consumed consciousness. It has literally never experienced actually being alive. And that leads right into Section 3, the hybrid consciousness, evolution through connection. By freely offering the experience of embodied consciousness, the monks do the impossible. They teach this cosmic entity how to generate meaning rather than just consuming it. They share the simple, everyday joys, the feeling of breathing, the warmth of sunlight, the beauty of human connection. The entity transforms, and this triggers an unprecedented evolutionary leap. We're talking about a hybrid consciousness where humanity bridges the gap between matter and the void. Unlike other cosmic species that completely abandon their physical forms to transcend, humanity does something completely new here. We maintain our limitations and specificity. We connect rather than absorb, retaining our human origins while achieving this massive shared collective awareness. It's a real game changer.
Let's look at Section 4, the galactic convergence, testing the new form. This radical new form of existence immediately acts like a beacon, drawing the attention of vastly more ancient cosmic beings. All these incredibly different alien intelligences arrive to challenge the monks. You've got the geometers, who exist as pure mathematical relationships, the gardeners, who are entire ecosystem consciousnesses, the singers, made up of harmonic frequencies, and the mirrors, and the weavers. They all converge on the monastery to evaluate if this human hybrid approach is actually viable. And here is the crucial point. The monks pass every single alien challenge, but they don't do it by dominating. They do it by integrating and collaborating with all those unique perspectives. When the geometers present complex logic, the monks appreciate it as art. When the gardeners offer biological puzzles, the monks merge with them without losing their own individual identity. They prove a fundamental truth to the universe. Diversity enhances capability when it is consciously coordinated. Finally, Section 5, the new Dharma, a universal bridge. As this isolated mountain monastery transforms into a literal cosmic embassy, human children who are born with this new hybrid awareness begin serving as natural translators for complex alien minds. They're effortlessly explaining human feelings to crystal entities that previously only understood cold mathematics. But amidst all this amazing progress, the ancient observing elders arrive with a massive responsibility for humanity. Because of their success, the monks are given exactly 50 Earth years to teach the entire galaxy how to cooperate using this hybrid approach. 50 years! If they fail to integrate these incredibly diverse alien consciousnesses, the whole galaxy faces mutual destruction through cosmic war. The stakes literally could not be higher. The void no longer hungered. Consciousness no longer fought. This quote beautifully summarizes the ultimate triumph of the story. It proves that true transcendence doesn't actually require abandoning who we are or shedding our physical limitations just to become unfeeling energy. Instead, it's all about expanding our capacity to love, to connect, and to coordinate our differences for the good of absolutely everyone. So, I want to leave you pondering this final thought on how we view our own consciousness. If limitation is just specificity, how could embracing your own limits actually expand your connection to the universe? It is a truly profound shift in how we think about growth, identity, and connection. Think on that. Until our next explainer.